Hey guys, this is Jon
and Austin.
and this is episode 113 of the Meatgistics podcast.
I just had a horrible realization. We have a horrible camera glare today.
What do you
Because I forgot to wear a hat.
Oh yeah, that's going to screw up the ISO.
This is probably the first podcast we've ever done. I have not worn a hat.
We've got numerous up there for you to choose from.
I'm going to
Feel
grab
free.
one.
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. Yeah, well, the tag can come off. It's all yours. It's at least how I look at it.
That's true.
They're all
Okay,
yours.
now we can start.
now
This
we
feels
can begin.
better.
Yes.
So what do we got for today?
Okay, so first let's deal with the food sitting right in front of us. We will get to these, but first I want to go to this. Now, some users may know of a pork called Iberico. This is a pig that I believe originated, and it may still only technically be Iberico if it's from Spain, and it's fed pretty much solely acorns. I have no idea what that does to the taste, but I was in World Market with my wife the other day. She's in terrible mood. Monday? Is it Monday? Yeah, Monday. And I was out doing yard work and I came in and I go, would it help if we went shopping? And she's like, I was just going to go shopping. I'm like, all right, I will go with you. And we were in World Market and I saw this. So I thought, definitely, I've always wanted to try Iberico. I'm not paying the $1,500 for that single leg, even though it comes with a really cool holder. Have you ever seen that?
No.
So you buy a whole leg of it. It comes with it's a wooden bottom, and then it's got a sloped up piece of metal leading to a ring, and you put the bone in there, and then it's got little, basically nuts that you can twist, and it digs into the bone. So then you trim off the spoiled outside of it. And they say it's like the best prosciutto you can basically ever have. But it's $1,500 for one.
That's crazy.
People have too much money. I really believe that now.
Yeah, I don't understand. There's so many other things I would do with $1,500 than
I'd
do
buy
that.
more gold. There's unbelievably better things to do with that.
Yeah. I don't know. To each their own.
Yeah, I guess. Sure. If you want to do it, you want to do it, but it seems crazy. All right, so let's try this. Just go ahead and grab a piece. So this is chorizo. So Palacios is the brand name. It's authentically sliced Iberico chorizo, crafted in Spain, ready to eat. Spanish tapas.
It's very fatty.
Extremely fatty. I don't like it as much as I thought I would.
It's just different.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the flavor I would expect.
It needs more. I can't believe I'm saying this. It needs more salt.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100%. That needs
It's
more
very
salt.
low on salt, which is weird for a dried sausage.
Right. No preservatives, artificial colors, or flavors, nitrate or nitrate added. Now, that's got to be a lie. That's the old lie that all natural, no artificial ingredients. So, yeah, they're using celery juice powder in lieu of nitrate in there, which is not a great idea. Yeah, not a huge fan, to be honest. I feel bad about that. So there's more paprika in there than there is salt. Now, I realize you want to get that nice red color with chorizo.
Yeah, but paprika does basically nothing for flavor.
Yeah.
It's just all color.
Right. I'm saying it should have had more salt.
Mm-hmm. I don't like the taste and feel it left in my mouth either.
It's nowhere like beaver tail.
True.
It's not good.
Yeah. It's just it's too bland, and just the texture it leaves behind is kind of funky.
So it's bland, but you still get that fat coating in your mouth. So it's like a continuous taste of blandness.
Mm-hmm.
That is really disappointing.
It is.
Could it be just that we got a bad piece? I'm going to try another one.
I ate too.
You did?
Mm-hmm. And I'm still trying to dig all the fat out from my teeth, though, too.
Just like my mouth wants that salt hit. It's got nothing. Now,
put some of the marinade on there. Add some salt to it.
How bad could we get it? What if we took the Kentucky bourbon marinade, put some of it on there?
That would be disgusting. I wouldn't do it. I almost gag just like smelling it.
Yeah.
I don't like the smell.
Okay, so kind of sad. I our Iberico pork chorizo was kind of a failure. I am gonna, oddly enough, I don't think we have any just like salt shakers in the studio kitchen. I really don't. If we did, I would put some salt on there. But I've got to pick up more salt on my way home. So we kind of talked about it on a live stream. I've been working on something at home. So I've been doing it incorrectly. I've been doing it correctly for once in like steps. I've only been changing one thing at a time. So I think I have the ingredients about as perfect as I can get them. I'm now just waiting on a replacement for the one ingredient because we can't ask people to eat that. All of this will make sense eventually. All of it will make sense eventually, just not right now. Okay, let's go to the chicken. So what we have here are Excalibur will occasionally send us samples of products that they want to see if we want to carry or not. So today we've got Chipotle Habanero Marinade, a lemon garlic marinade, and a Kentucky Bourbon marinade. Now, to be fair, I hate anything that's Kentucky Bourbon except for that basting blend. Remember the ones that look like alcohol bottles? That was amazing on chicken. So this might not be as bad as it smells. It smells disgusting.
It is one of those seasonings that when you cook it, it has a total different taste and flavor than just smelling it out of the package. So as much as I hate the smell of it, I think it could taste just fine.
Okay, so the real question then is first or last?
Do it first, so then we can, if we don't like it, we can get rid of the flavor.
Because to be fair, I have already had the habanero on chicken wings, and it's phenomenal. Nice juicy chicken. Smoking chicken at low temperature really is the way to go. He caught it.
I caught it. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Yep. I would eat that for sure.
That's good.
You need a napkin?
No, these pants need washed anyways. I'm just kidding. Wipe it on the pants.
What did I drop? That would also be good on pork. That might actually be better on pork than it is on chicken. That's interesting. It could use a little bit more something. Salt?
I think it's low on salt.
Yeah, it probably is.
Because you get the flavor, but it doesn't feel like the flavor's riding on salt. So the flavor would really enhance more with more salt.
Brown sugar, maltodextrin, soy sauce solids. Now, soy sauce solids by themselves are going to have some salt to it, but then salt. So salt's the fifth ingredient, fifth ingredient. So yeah, they could up the salt on that, but that's not bad. I will probably recommend we carry that because people like a Kentucky Bourbon marinade.
People that like the flavor of bourbon, like you still get that flavor in there without it being as overwhelming as like when you smell it, it smells like you're smelling a bottle of bourbon.
So not to completely change subjects, but I'm going to real quick. About 2 weeks ago, everybody knows I have an enormous problem with energy drinks, right? About 2 weeks ago, I cut down and I allow myself one energy drink a day. Single one, that's it. The big change, though, is not so much that. It's that the only thing I drink anymore other than that one energy drink is water. I've drank a truly disturbing amount of water over the last couple of weeks. I feel great. I feel way, way better. I was killing myself with all those energy drinks. But I would average about 6 2-liters of Diet Canada Dry ginger ale a week. So about a 2-liter a day. Now, I still really badly want that. But I was looking through the ingredients. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I was like, it's probably best if I just go back to drinking straight water.
Yeah. I don't know.
The straw on this does not make that suck. Like it makes it much easier. I thought I wouldn't use this straw at all. It's amazing.
The new Waltons and Meatgistics tumblers. I can't talk.
Here we go.
They are awesome themselves, but the straw, I love straws in those. Some of it is, I think also it helps keep everything colder in there longer because there's less open to the air, like just a old school standard Yeti cup. It's got the wide mouth. It's got an opening, lets more air in.
Okay.
With the straw and the smaller opening and the straw, just less heat transfer. I don't know, because
I'm no scientist.
These hold ice better than many of my other tumblers, and I am a tumbler aficionado.
You are. You have a problem. Does it hold ice better than like the Arctic or the?
Mm-hmm.
It does.
I think so.
Okay. See, I've gone back and forth with it, but here's the problem: is I'll fill up ice in the morning. And then most of the time, I'm just filling up water the rest of the time. So that ice is going to melt a lot quicker because it's got to cool down multiple injections of water. Yeah. But no, I absolutely, one of those weird things that I was, kind of excited about, but has become a staple. And I've left it one place. Other than that, stick with me. Okay.
Nice.
Now let's try the Chipotle Habanero. So like I said, fair warning, I've already had this one.
Is it actually hot?
Chicken wings? It's got some heat to it. It's not going to burn your mouth, but it's got some heat to it. God, I cook chicken perfectly.
Yeah, and I got the end piece there with a little.
Yep.
Wow, it's hot.
Hits right on the tip of your tongue as soon as you bite into it. Oh, you're saying that piece had more seasoning on it? Probably did.
There was more outside than inside because it was a thinner piece and as the edge.
Sure.
It's not too hot.
No. But it has legitimate heat to it.
The way it just hits you, like it's making me struggle to talk a little bit.
Why do I always forget that?
I'm gonna sniffle the rest of the podcast.
Or he sniffles the entire podcast. I go,
I can't help it.
I know. I'm not saying you're doing it on purpose or
that is really good though.
That's really good. So yeah, we will definitely be carrying that. That is Chipotle Habanero.
Chipotle Habanero.
Habanero marinade.
So my last comment on it is it's a flavorful heat. Sometimes things when they're hot, they're just hot.
Right.
That is a very flavorful heat.
Yeah, it does help that the chicken was cooked perfectly.
Or marinated perfectly.
What's that?
I said or marinated perfectly.
Oh, marinated. So we don't have Patrick today. We've got Justin behind the board. Do you want to try some of these?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well.
So how did you cook these, I guess?
Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay.
It's really not bad. Yep. I would recommend you do. I'm not going to force you to, but I would recommend you do. I'll try. So Justin marinated them in a vac bag, and we left them in the fridge for what, like an hour? Yeah. An hour. Then I put it on the grill at 300 for about 30 minutes, but it was getting ahead of me. So I bumped that down to 250 for about 15 minutes, and then just bumped it up to 350 just to make sure they hit 165. Now, there is an Appendix A for chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a very complicated appendix.
Because it's fat. It requires you to know the fat content of your meat. And I don't care. I've gotten a lot of junk chicken recently. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. I know I don't notice it as much as like chicken I buy from the store, but when I go to like a restaurant, usually like a more of a fast food place, like a Chick-fil-A or something like that, you can get something that's like good chicken, and the next time it's trash.
Have you been to this new Chick-fil-A over by us? Is it
multiple times?
Yeah, I think I've been to Chick-fil-A one time back when I was in Texas or something.
I think since it's opened, I've been there like at least 3 times.
That's
maybe
not
4
it.
Times.
Only opened like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Austin.
My wife just loves Chick-fil-A, and then I won't say no. It's
How much
good.
property do you have? Do you have over an acre?
Oh, property? Yeah, like 2 3/4.
Give me your back half acre. My wife and I will build there, and I'll just include you in all my cooking.
I'm in on that.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea to me.
I would not be opposed.
Yeah. And we've doubled up our security.
I actually want to buy there's like a field next to our neighborhood at like an 80, and then another 80 that goes down like an L the other way. It's all owned by the same person. I think I've talked about this at least on a podcast or live stream before, but someday I'm going to call a guy up and be like,
See
hey,
what he wants for it?
Yeah. What would it take? What would you buy that for? I'd love to have like just your house right there and then just boom, another 80.
That would be nice.
You could build on the 80.
Do you want to talk at all about what we're doing on Friday?
Sure.
So Friday morning, Austin and Leo are coming over to my house and we are going to do some fishing. Now, the town pumped my pond because I assume it's because they hate me. And I've not caught any big bass since then. I have caught plenty of littler things, but I'm going to throw out the night before. I've got like a bait trap. So I'm going to put a chicken wing in there, throw it out the night before. And I do have crayfish. So hopefully we can fish with some crayfish and catch some crappie. And don't have any smallmouth bass down here, but did you see rare. There was a what was it called? It was called a something smallmouth. Yeah, whatever. Right. It was a smallmouth bass. It was caught in, I want to say Iowa. It first of all was huge. I mean, huge. And it was like straight yellow and black. It was like no smallmouth bass I've ever seen before. I am unreasonably excited about it. All right, let's try the last one. It's the lemon pepper or lemon garlic. And you've already had this one, right? You already bit into a piece.
I just tasted the seasoning.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very good lemon garlic marinade. Now,
my sniffles are starting.
In the past, we were a little bit more hesitant to carry extra marinades because they didn't sell well.
Mm-hmm.
Over the last couple of years, we've built them up to selling, I would say, fairly well. If we had to pick, say you had to pick two of three of these, what would you pick?
Hold
on, let me write mine down first. Okay.
I mean, first, hands down, the Chipotle Habanero.
Absolutely.
That one's the top one.
Yep.
Then, I would probably say the lemon pepper garlic just because I like that one better.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of feel like the bourbon marinade might do better just because so many people are just like, oh, it's a lemon pepper chicken.
Right.
It's
generic.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that one's better than the bourbon.
So I agree. And I wrote down KB and Chipotle. So Kentucky Bourbon and Chipotle. Because this fills a need and people who want that will be more excited about that than another lemon garlic.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody and their cousin has one of those.
Yeah.
All right. Let me try one more piece of this just to confirm I still like it. But what I think is going on with the chicken. So the fresh chicken I buy at the store is what I'm complaining about. I think they're blowing it out when they're injecting it. Like it says it's only injected to 15%, but there's like, you could see the stress lines on the proteins and like inside of it, it's not like forming together well anymore. It's almost like it's already blown those bonds. Yeah, that's not bad. Justin, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was good. I'm not a huge fan of the Kentucky bourbon, but just kind of like Austin said, I feel like it might just be a personal preference thing. But yeah, lemon pepper was like very generic, but very good still. And what was the other one?
Chipotle habanero.
Oh yeah, no, that was my favorite.
That's
for
the
sure.
one.
Yeah,
that's definitely the one. We made wings on those the other day, and we used that Mr. Barbecue hanging rack.
Yeah,
they were top notch. I forget his name. I want to say it's Garrett. No, it's not Garrett.
New guy?
Yes.
Garrett.
It is Garrett. I'm awesome. So Garrett, we have somebody here who is also from basically my hometown. So he and I were talking. So he just happens to be around a lot. Like, he does a lot of things when I'm having food. So I've just been like, hey, there's this in there. There's that in there. He's like, this is great. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't happen like this all the time. Like, you're getting lucky.
That's cool.
Yeah, we've cooked a lot recently. I made 50 pounds of habanero barbecue snack sticks yesterday. Then I made 100 pounds of bratwurst this morning, Philly cheesesteak with Swiss, and jalapeno popper with mozzarella. So all of those are for this weekend. We're doing zoobilee. And then I've made some jerky. I was doing that all last week. So I've just been doing a lot of processing recently. I did buy some more beef that I want to try something slightly different with the beef jerky, just because I'm not thrilled with how the tender beef jerky turned out this time. We'll still have enough to we'll win still. I really think.
Will we though?
I was thinking about it. So for those of you who don't know, the first zoobilee we went to, the end of the night, some guy came up to us, some random guy we've never seen before, and says, "You won, act surprised." And we couldn't have been any more surprised because we had no idea it was a competition. So we're like, all right, well, we are surprised. Everybody leaves me. I cooked all the food. Every bit of it I cooked there. That's what won. Colton goes up and accepts the check. And they all left me as I'm continuing to hand out samples.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, he didn't keep the check.
No, I know he didn't. Then they gave us this huge check. And just being honest, I'd had one or two. So I got a little mouthy and I was going around with the check to other vendors and showing off. So the next year, our line was longer than the previous year, all night long. They announced no winner. So I'm thinking they saw what happened the first year and they're just like, all right, we can't do a winning vendor anymore. So
if they don't do it, that's going to be disappointing.
No, well, we are considering ourselves the winners of last year too. We're reigning champs. So unless they pick a new winner, we've won 3 years in a row in my mind. That's how that goes.
It makes sense to me. I have never been, just because bad time of year, September hits, and I have too many things going on.
Sure.
Almost every weekend there's multiple things, and I have to say no to stuff, and it makes me makes me upset. But I want to go to Zoobilee sometime because everything I've heard from you and Colton, it sounds amazing, and just tons of people, and everybody loves what we do there.
Yes. So it's really fun because everybody wants to try what we have, and that's nice. And the people are super nice. But what I really enjoy about it is people watching. If you like to people watch, that is the event in Wichita. It is Wichita's Kentucky Derby. All the girls wear their sundresses and hats. All the guys wear they're way overdressed for hot outside at a zoo.
So it's not like a shorts and t-shirt type of thing.
We wear shorts and t-shirts.
Okay.
It's like the upper class of Wichita comes out, and they're, fun to kind of poke
Gotcha.
at. It's like, oh, yeah, sure. But yeah, no, it is a great time. If anyone's in the Wichita area and looking for something to do this Saturday, it's probably already sold out. But
probably
if you wanted to, and you can, it is a really good time. All right, I'm going to clear this out so that we can let other people try it after. And then we'll get into Meat Matters, unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
Nope. Sounds good.
Okay. So I have shorts on because this room gets really stuffy when we turn off everything. And I am a serial sweater. So
do you think I could buy another portable air conditioner and we could just run them both into the same vent over there? I'd go buy another one.
How do you mean? Explain.
Oh, that one vents to the ceiling.
Yes.
Instead of running another one up another vent, could we just get a little Y adapter for that vent?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Hook two in there.
Yeah. So two could go in there.
Yeah.
We're losing that. Do you remember when we built the kitchen, we got the cabinet that was extra and damaged? We're losing that, and we're replacing it with some dry curing cabinet your brother and father were talking about. They don't want to put it in there. And I told them that we could definitely put it in here. No problems with that.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we get that, I'm finally going to start making dry cured stuff. And then the weight shall truly start coming. I expect that will put 30 pounds on me. Because even though I don't like this, I'm still eating it. Even though I don't like it.
The only good thing about that is you can only make so much dry cured stuff at once. So you may not have an issue because you're going to make a batch and then you're going to eat it all and you're going to have to wait 3 months before you get more.
Yeah, I won't. No, it sucks. That sucks. I don't like even the taste. Hold on. Do a play-by-play. Tell them I'm looking for...
Yeah, so John's searching through cabinets right now, trying to find something to put on our dried sausage chorizo.
Okay.
Is that? Oh, I thought that was rock salt. I'm like,
nope, I've got
that's
straight
not.
kosher salt. We're going to try that first, And then if that doesn't work, we're going to try the bomb from Spiceology. Bomb's a mixture of salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic. But I'm going to coat mine both sides. That's a lot of salt.
That is like an Austin level of salt. I am very proud of you.
Okay. I mean, it's instantly better for sure.
All I taste is salt.
Definitely better. All right. So am I enjoying the taste of the salt more than I'm enjoying the taste of this?
Okay, with a reasonable amount of salt in there, that helps a lot.
It does help a lot. I still don't like the finish though.
It's still doing the same texture thing to my mouth that I don't know how to describe it. It like makes it like feel really dry.
There was
I don't know.
A brand of this that somebody brought us because one of our customers was making it. And we all unfortunately didn't enjoy it. The processing, whatever they did with that, they're doing with this. I hate to say it, but this tastes kind of like, I don't know, like but you can't even say mass produced. Like I love mass produced Hormel salami or pepperoni. It's amazing.
I love me some Vienna sausages.
Oh God. Yes, you do. But yeah. Okay. Oh, well, what can you do? Spanish people don't know how to make chorizo, obviously. Even though they're the ones that created it.
I would think it's got to be mainly just the seasoning.
Yeah.
Although the I don't know, that dryness as soon as I chew it, it hits my mouth and it makes it feel like it's super dry and it's something else, but I can't figure out how to describe it.
That's an additive they're using. What's doing that? It's some additive. It feels like they tried to add fat as an oil. I think that's what's going on. Tex is coming tomorrow. I'm going to save some from this and make him eat it and say that we loved it. And then be like, what is wrong with you? How do you not love that?
That'll be good. So do we have anything else then? Or do we want to jump into Meat Matters?
No, now we can go to Meat Matters. Sorry. Oh, wait. No, I do have one more thing. Generally, this is kind of funny. What you like about, or what I like about dry cured sausages like pepperoni, salami, part of the taste you're enjoying is the putrefaction of the fat. I've always found that funny. It's like the fat is putrefying, and that's the process it's going through, which generally you think of as disgusting, not something you'd want to eat. That's part of the flavor of the dry cured sausage. So, all right, before we go on to Meat Matters, let's talk about a recent plant that has opened. There's Dorsey Processing. It's in Pryor, Oklahoma. The plant is owned by locals Charles and Pam Dorsey. Charles and Pam have over 50 years of beef cattle experience and they own the beef cattle operation Dorsey Ranch. So they're going to raise, slaughter, and sell. They're booking custom beef appointments. You can call 918-373-4942 if you're in the Pryor or anywhere around there in Oklahoma, or visit their Facebook account for more information. Also, it didn't include a picture, but they have like the barn building. I really like that look, like like a barn dominium.
Yeah.
Kind of like that's what I'm going to build on the back of your property.
If you
barn dominium,
if you want to go halvesies, there's about 140 acres with a sweet barn dominium for sale that I would love to buy.
Is it down by your wife's?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've talked about that to me in the past.
Go halvesies with you.
I can't give up my 5-minute drive or 3-minute drive. I just can't. It makes everything so convenient.
No, me neither. This has to be like in addition to.
Oh yeah, no, that's not happening. That's not happening.
That's why I can't afford it.
Gotcha.
I probably couldn't afford it. Regardless,
anyways,
but
probably not. All right, on to Meat Matters. First one: more Iowa farmers consider double cropping amid USDA change. So, found this fairly interesting. Iowa farmers are going to plant a second cash crop, soybean, and the crops look actually really good, which is surprising because is Iowa not having a drought? Is it really just Kansas and west of us?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where it starts and stops, but usually droughts are not like the entire country. It depends on where the jet stream is coming down and going back up and where it kind of shifts to. But so wherever that is, there's a break and a split where there will be drought and then normal rain and extra rain. It's always like.
I must have a poor understanding. I mean, I've driven to Iowa. It's not that far away.
No.
And Missouri has plenty of rain too. They got those. I always point to you when I think of Missouri. So you're already tied in as my Missouri person. No. They had those two like ridiculous rainstorms, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, I guess I am just thinking my weather is everybody's weather in the Midwest. But I'll plant rye in the fall and soybeans in the spring, said Fayette County local farmer Lauren Steinledge, before it was illegal to insure those soybeans. So the change the USDA made was they can now insure their second crop.
So is this just a state thing or is this a countrywide thing? Because at least the fields around my house, like they're always double planted. They don't do one crop a year.
So no. I think it's the insuring.
So they can insure one of them, but not both of them.
Now they can insure both of them.
Yeah, they insure both. Well, that's okay. I guess that helps. But if you were in my mind, you'd be crazy not to
insure?
Do two crops regardless, whether you can insure it or not. I mean, that's a lot of cash you're leaving on the table. And a lot of it is stuff that I would think would be fine.
But so not insuring the crops, I mean, that's a huge risk.
Yeah.
The one thing I heard, and I think we talked about it when we were talking to the COO last week, I read this in an article. You can tell a really good farmer and rancher not by how much money they make in good years, but by how little money they lose in bad years. I thought that was a really interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. I don't know. Now I kind of want to talk to somebody who's been a farmer for a while. And
I was just thinking that we need to get a farmer on here.
Yeah. So if anybody on Meatgistics listening to this, if you're a farmer, you need to go to meatgistics.com and find the post for this episode. Let us know what you do. Do you plant at least two crops every year? Are you insuring one and not the other? And does the change on that make a difference to you? If you're not a farmer, if you know somebody who is and you can help us get somebody to talk about stuff.
We could talk to, I can't believe I can't remember his name. He was on the podcast. He sold farming equipment and technologies. This is like a year and a half ago. What is his name? He's still on Meatgistics, still active. Can't think of his name. If not, we can go back and find him, see if he can either hook us up with somebody or maybe just answer a few of our questions.
Okay.
Yeah, because the majority of my farm knowledge comes from movies. I mean, that really is what it is.
The most of mine comes from my dad. I mean, that's what he grew up doing. Like as a kid, like his grandpa had a farm. He worked for a couple different farmers through high school and after high school. He will still talk about back in the day driving on the tractor. We didn't have cabs
dude, I'm not far away from starting to do stuff like that myself.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't know. I could ask him too and see if he knows anything anymore. But I don't know. Be interesting to find out. See somebody's insight into things here.
All right. Speaking of your dad, the next article is courtesy of him. It is from farmanddairy.com, and it's all hats, no cattle, and little chance. So this is actually a really good article. This is the perfect week to talk about it because it's sort of a rebuttal in a certain way against the podcast we held last week. What this is talking about is this is not the first time that we've seen beef prices, cattle ranchers, all of that getting squeezed, and had cattle ranchers band together and say, okay, well, we're going to open this plant. We're going to do it ourselves. The main point of the article is that it rarely, if ever, has worked out. Like it doesn't actually get to either Most of them don't ever break ground, and the ones that do generally don't succeed. Now, I would say that I don't think that applies to our previous guest because the amount of capital they have available to put behind this, they're bringing in super experienced people, and I really feel like there is a need for what they're doing. Like, I think the market will reward them if they can get this up and going. So while it's always good to hear the opposite side, and it's always good to look at things, sometimes the glass half full, sometimes glass half empty, keep a reasonable expectation on it. But I don't think I don't think it really applies to this. What was interesting in this, and not interesting is the wrong word for it. One of the people who was talking about this is Mike Calicrate from Calicrate. Is it Calicrate Beef Processing?
Ranch Foods Direct.
Ranch Foods Direct.
They're one of our customers.
Yep. And Ranch Foods Direct is actually a pretty phenomenal service. From everything I've heard, I haven't tried it yet, but his take was the bet I would make is that the plant will never be built because there just aren't enough cattle to support a new plant that size. Not in South Dakota, not anywhere. It's all talk.
Yeah, I mean that's the interesting thing, and kind of why I asked one of the questions on was that last week's podcast is the 8,000 head a day plant they're planning on building in South Dakota. Like, are they planning on competing directly against the big four, or do they see like another hole in the market they're going to fill, or some other avenue they're going to take? Because that is a lot of beef. I mean,
now it's 8,000 head a day capacity. I don't think they're even saying we're going to do 8,000 head a day. They're just saying that is the capacity of this.
Yeah,
I mean, if we built a 600,000 square foot building, but we're only using 200,000 of it, we would still say our facility is 600,000 square feet.
Yeah, but at some point, I mean, you have to utilize so much of it to even make money or be profitable. If you build an 8,000 head day plant and you're only doing 500, you're going to lose money.
Sure,
so
that's
you're still going to be
disparity.
Yeah, you're still talking thousands. I mean, they're going to I would bet that they're still shooting to at least be at 50% capacity.
Yeah,
still. So 4,000 head a day. That's still a lot of beef that unless they're doing something new and different, they're going to have to be taking supply from somewhere else. Even if you're not competing directly against the big four, you're going to be competing for resources.
What are you talking about for resources?
Beef.
Okay, so we are talking
cows
about
to slaughter.
Currently, so this number unfortunately is from January 2014, so I don't know what that's doing as good. But it says 88.2 million cattle and calves. And that was the smallest herd size since 1952. So it has grown since then. Bad side is just sold off a bunch of them again because of this insane drought. But don't know. We are hopefully going to follow up with them in a couple of months further down the line, so we can ask those questions as well.
My last thing there. My biggest hope is if somebody is the one plant we talked to, the other one mentioned in the story. If whoever it is or multiple people, if they can get their foot in there, I mean, it's going to be hard because you don't get to 85% market share without there being a big reason. But if somebody can do it, I think it's got to be, because part of what this article talked about and what Curtis talked about last time is innovation. And they're starting with a blank canvas and being able to do things different. So it will be interesting to see what new and different processes come about. If all of this transpires, how does one of their plants look like compared to somebody else existing out there? I think they'll look vastly different.
Very, very, I would assume very different. And it is Western Legacy Development Corporation. We keep saying them. So that's who we're talking about. That's the 8,000 head a day. It's associated with Kingsbury and Associates. Okay. With the big four owning 85% of a multi-billion dollar industry a year, Do you think these people at Legacy are concerned at all about like getting attacked and not like through social media? I mean, when you put that amount of money into anything, like it definitely happens in the pharmaceutical industry, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, corporations can be pretty brutal and cutthroat with each other, but
Are you saying we're allowed to?
no,
Oh,
you're not allowed to.
Darn, I was hoping.
But I don't know. The optimist inside me looks at stuff like that and says, nah. Because you're always going to have people that are going to naysay. They're going to say it can't be done. You're not going to do it. They're going to tell you why you shouldn't do it. They're going to throw rocks at your ideas, and as you're moving along. But I don't think they'll have a problem. I think for someone to succeed like that, they're going to come across either a roadblock so massive that they just go, this isn't worth it anymore, or they're going to get far enough into the project and they're going to run out of money and they're just going to go, we can't get more funding. This is what we got, and we either got to make it with this or we have to cut our losses and get out. But if someone has the drive to do it and they can get past the money hurdle, and that knowing that, yes, this is what we think we're going to put into it, but when that dries up, do you have a backup plan? That I think somebody can do it. It's just that requires a lot of drive, because that 85% control from the big four, I mean, you don't get to 85% control without there being huge roadblocks for entry. And the roadblocks for entry are mostly around regulation. The more regulation you have in an industry, the harder it is to enter or even exit.
So you don't think they need to be concerned? Like, I'm talking about their physical safety.
Oh, no.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Real quick, one of the things that we didn't get a chance to talk about because we couldn't get Megan on because our technology or something was not working correctly. Not her fault. But something that just kept coming up every time I was researching her was sustainable family wealth was like one of their goals. And I thought that was really cool. Like, that's Kingsbury and Associates, not Western Legacy. Like, they work on investing and land management, but with the goal of keeping that wealth in families, which I thought is a pretty cool thing. You don't hear a lot of people with that as like a stated goal.
I think from the sound of it, their whole structure and how they're moving forward is all private. It's not public. It's not with a plan or intention of creating a public entity, which I think is cool. On one hand, sometimes it's cool to have a public company because there's certain things you can find out about them that you can't find out otherwise.
Private, right.
Yeah. But on the other hand, when you have a private corporation, the motives can be different. For example, around here, like, we're not a public corporation. If we were a public corporation, things would be a lot different. There would be a lot more pushing and grinding for every last dollar and making sure that the company is the most profitable that it absolutely can be.
But you have a fiduciary responsibility to your investors, to your stockholders, to give them the best return.
Yeah. Well, it still applies. I mean, me, my dad, and my brother, I mean, at the end of the day, we want to make money off of this.
Right.
We're not doing this with the intention of losing money.
No, obviously not.
But at the same time, like, we have some level of understanding that we're not going to beat the employees senseless until we squeeze every last drop.
That's a lie. You've beaten me numerous times.
You're an exception.
Yeah. I get that.
And we're not going to squeeze every last ounce of money and energy out of our customers. We're not going to
not be
torture our vendors. We want to be good with vendors, good with customers, good with everybody. We want it to be an enjoyable experience. Where the goal first and foremost is not to just make as much money as you humanly possibly can.
Yep.
But when you turn into a public corporation, I think that is almost the goal that you have to have.
Another thing that weirds me out, and we'll move on after this, is corporations as people. I don't like that.
It's a weird deal.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into that.
I'm sure, but just the whole process or the whole aim behind it. All right, moving on. This is the Dutch city banning meat advertising. This is from timeout.com. Ask any vegan about the meat industry, and they'll no doubt chew your ear off about it's the root of all evil. And, they do sort of have a point. No, they don't. The meat industry feeds billions of people. Without the existing meat industry, with warts and all, if you just removed it, hundreds of millions of people die of starvation the next year. That's not even a question. So demonizing the meat industry, not a smart move. I found it interesting with the Netherlands doing this because they are having all sorts of other interesting agricultural problems recently. I don't know if you've kept up on that, but they've basically forced their farmers to stop farming.
Really?
Yep. The Netherlands, and there's another country that's having the same issue somewhere in Europe. But it says one city in Netherlands agrees. It's taking drastic action. Haarlem, Haarlem, about 10 miles from Amsterdam, will become the first city in the world to ban advertising of meat in public spaces. Who is this for? Is it this is just like a sop or throwing a little red meat to the crazy vegans?
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. It offends me. Right?
Yeah. I don't understand that. I mean, I just hope stuff like that just stays overseas and just doesn't come over here.
So I was thinking about this the other day. Back in like the 80s and 90s, the US, like it's our main export other than the petrodollar, really was our culture. Like we spread our culture throughout the rest of Europe, all sorts of South America, Africa, not as much Asia. But that has changed. Like we are now importing culture from other places. And that is a major problem. We were talking about the sustainability meat tax last week. And you said it was in the UK. You're like, oh, I hope it doesn't, spread. And I was like, it's going to. Like this, at least this idea is going to be pushed here as well. They used to not happen.
I think some of those ideas on when it relates to like taxes, that has an easier time of spreading rather than like what this article is talking about. Just because if it relates to money and government being able to collect more of it, then it's like, oh yeah, let's do this.
Oh yeah, we'd love to do that. Excuse me. All right, next article. Whole Foods sued over deception in antibiotic-free meat. Since 1981, Whole Foods has claimed that all of the animals within its supply chain are raised without antibiotics. However, an independent laboratory found antibiotic residue in the antibiotic-free meat and bought from Whole Foods in a store in California. There's a nonprofit group called Farm Forward. They are creating a class action lawsuit. Among the findings, farm founder residue of antibiotics that can be used to promote growth in cattle in meat produced labeled organic and antibiotic free. So it's just that's all a lie. I've long said this. Nobody goes to stores. There's no government organization or any organization that goes to stores, takes a Pringles box or canister off the shelf and actually tests how much sugar or, how many carbs are in there. It's just, you put whatever you want in the label. Yeah, you're going to get sued eventually, but who cares? You made billions of dollars. I'm going to create sugar cubes and call them sugar-free, sell them, be like, these are sugar-free.
You get sued so fast.
Oh, yeah. I'll sell 1 billion of them first.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to know more about this because I want to know how, if they're claiming it's antibiotic free, how were they testing it and seeing that it said it can have as much as 20% more than conventional meat? How? Like, what is someone truly being deceptive, or is this somehow one of those things that would be similar to nitrites and nitrates and celery juice powder and people saying it's uncured bacon with no nitrites added, but in reality that could have more nitrites in it than a standard bacon would?
It's probably like they consider amoxicillin an antibiotic, and amoxaglobacillin is not an antibiotic. I'm assuming that's what it is. But I mean, what do you want the ranchers, even the feedlot owners to do. Do you want them to keep the animal like healthy and safe until it's time for harvesting, slaughter? Or do you want just like, nope, no antibiotics, thing's sick, just let it suffer, kill it now and harvest the, sick meat?
Personally,
You can't have it both ways.
Personally, I'd rather have all the antibiotics. Give it to me. I'd rather have the healthy cow.
Now, there's some dangers associated with that, creating a super bug, obviously, one of them, an antibiotic resistant bug. But, I mean, we're all going to go sometime. Something's going to get us.
Yeah. So why not sooner than later?
So it'd just be Stephen King's The Stand. I'm ready for it. Why Beyond Meat slid 23.7. Now, this is from the Motley Fool. I try not to use them. I don't know what you know about the Motley Fool, but they use no bylines, except this one does have one. And basically anyone can submit an article to them. So it's really more of like a message board than a reliable news source. But this article was interesting. It says Beyond Meat released a disappointing set of earnings for its fiscal 2022 second quarter that not only saw revenue dip year over year, but also saw the companies report a significant higher net loss. Beyond Meat also reported a gross loss of $6.2 million for Q2, while its net loss ballooned nearly fivefold from $19.6 million to $97.1 million.
That's insane.
That is insane. What it all comes down to is nobody wants to eat your gross fake food. It's not real food. I refuse. It shouldn't even be able to have meat in the name. Like, I get the whole we're beyond meat, but you are still trading off the word meat there. Do you eat any Beyond Meat?
No, I haven't tried any.
Have you ever tried any of the fake meats?
My mom used to get like some kind of fake bacon. Is that what that would be?
Yep.
So like,
same thing.
Yeah.
So my wife eats a lot of the fake stuff. One of them is this stuff called Griller's Crumble. It's a green package. It's actually pretty good.
Really?
But it's definitely not meat. Like, it's just a different thing. And then that same company she gets a bacon from, that tastes like cardboard. I don't know how she eats it.
No, it tasted awful.
It's disgusting.
Nothing like real bacon.
The texture sucks. The taste sucks. The only thing that they get somewhat right in there is it'll be like a rectangular piece, and it will have like the fat does like a curve through it. So it actually kind of looks okay. But man, it tastes like cardboard.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. I absolutely hate it.
I don't know. So I feel like I'm not as down on them as you are, because I think it's something that will stay and it will last. It's going to forever stay a minority of the overall market. But I think it's something that some people will care about enough. They don't care what it tastes like, and they'll continue to eat it. But I look at this as almost similar to like the Western Development Legacy Corporation, what they're doing when we talked with Curtis about the 8,000 head a day plant. Something like this, they're trying to get into the meat industry, into a mass market type of deal, and it is going to take a lot of money. They're losing, what'd that say, $97 million in a quarter. Like, that's what it's going to take for someone to upend the market and change what goes on out there. Is you're going to have to push and push and push so hard, and you're going to lose a ton of money.
But Western Legacy Development Company, with their 8,000 head a day place, is coming in on an established product. These people are trying to push a new product that really people don't want.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the same, but you're still trying to take away market share from that existing market for something else, whether you're replacing it with a 1-for-1 or you're replacing it with a substitute or something totally different. You're still to get your demand, you're going to have to take demand from somewhere else. And to do that, it's going to take a lot of dollars.
Yeah. And to be fair, the 96 point whatever million loss, they could have just decided they wanted to realize a bunch of loss in like one quarter. So they could be stacking that in there.
Yeah. With their net loss though, or their gross loss actually being a loss instead of a gross profit, they have a gross loss. I mean, they definitely have a sizable net loss, but yeah, it could be inflated depending upon when they decided to realize some of those losses.
Right.
Yeah.
So they could be doing that. All right. biotech. You can taste and now eat cultured eel meat.
No,
Grown.
I saw this
the
on the
same way
list
as
and I just
research.
wanted to punch you in the face. Why are we talking about
So we
this?
gave you the good food. We've got one more thing to try today.
No, you're serious? Okay.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I just wanted to see your face.
Before we start, I even asked Justin. I'm like, John's being like really sly about this. Do you know what he's doing? Is it eel? And he's like, no, it's not eel. So if you really would have had it, I just would have.
So
I would have died inside.
Austin did not want to do the eel today, but we are going to be doing it probably once you get back from your trip. We're going to go do it. That's the only reason this article is on here. It's not interesting at all, really, to be honest. All right, last article for the day. And this just made me unreasonably mad. It's from greenqueen.com.hk, whatever HK is. Hanoi, Korea? No, that doesn't make sense. Hot Korea. That's
Hong
gotta be what
Kong?
it is. Yeah, that would probably make more sense. Medieval kings didn't eat a lot of meat. You probably shouldn't either. First of all, the entire idea that I would want to live anything like a king is ridiculous. Monarchy is a disgusting practice in my mind. Letting one family rule over an entire country because of how they were or who they were birthed by is a ridiculous practice. So I don't think you're making the point you want to there. Second, this author is involved with something called the-ethos.co. When you go to it, it is the most elitist, like fashion forward, ridiculous website I've ever seen. The Real Reels, this is on their homepage. The Real Reels 2022 luxury buying guide or real estate or resale report. Sorry. The Real Reels 2022 luxury resale report. I know we've talked about it recently a bunch of times, but I'm really fed up with these city living, ridiculous college degree people writing things, thinking they're so much smarter than everyone else and that they get to tell us how to live. That is not the way things work. You live in a disgusting environment that poisons the water for tens and hundreds of miles around where you live. You breathe disgusting air. My air is beautiful. I live in a city that's small enough and reasonable that we're not overly polluting the entire environment around us. Stop trying to tell me how to live my life. This is going to eventually be what sets off worse and escalating bad feelings in this country.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely very different cultures between people that are from rural America and growing the majority of the food for the country versus people that live in the middle of a big city and are doing more intangible things in nature. Tangible products like beef, pork, chicken, and crops versus intangible trading of stocks in downtown New York.
Or writing of articles about how we should be living.
Yeah.
Or making videos on how to... Oh, no, let's not talk about that.
I just think it's unfortunate that people can't see other people's side to the story because neither side would exist without the other. Yep. And yet it's just it's kind of a nitpick. Well, I think you should do it this way. And no, I think you should do it that way. It's all just unfortunate. But
yeah, I don't want to tell them how to live in their cities. I just want them to shut up. So when I argue with people from back home, one of the things they always bring up is well, all those Midwestern states are like a net drain on take more money from the federal government than they put in. It's like, okay, let's stop doing that and let your food cost what it actually costs. Because that's where that money is going. You're going to start paying $5 for a tomato. Real quick, you'll realize that eating is a lot more important than the tech company you have that lets you post to Facebook and Twitter at the same time. None of that stuff actually matters.
Well, it can matter, just not in the basic form of human existence. But things can still matter and contribute to things overall. It's just basic existence. It doesn't matter.
Right. in an emergency situation doesn't matter versus very much matters. So,
Yeah.
And that's about that.
The one, I think it was this article.
Oh, the medieval
No.
king one?
Yeah. Now I'm looking for it because now I don't remember.
Are you talking about how they found that they didn't eat
Nope.
that much
Okay.
meat?
No, it isn't here. So when it's talking about meat consumption, the other thing that I love every time I hear it and see it and read it is that the WHO has classified processed meats as carcinogenic. I love when things come out like that because I'm just like, if that's what you want to do and say, then fine. There's going to be more of it for me, and I'll gladly eat your share.
Good.
of it.
Hopefully it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Also, one more thing. I couldn't care less what the WHO says about anything. I think they've shown themselves to be a corrupt organization time and time again. Second, there is some validity to that, but it's very specific.
Oh, yeah.
It is when a bacon or a ham has had more nitrites added than what is allowed, and it's charred.
Mm-hmm.
If you combine those two things, that is dangerous. But just saying all cured meat is a carcinogen is dishonest, and it just makes me not care at all about what they say.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I'm at least aware of there is bacon. That's why there's 120 parts per million instead of like 190,
200
or 210, something like that.
For injection and dry rub are the differences there.
But how many people are going to cook? Well, first, people do overcook bacon.
Sometimes.
A lot.
Sometimes, yeah.
To cook, if you cook bacon to 160 degrees, or say just like
Fry it too
other
quick in the pan.
pork, cook it to 145 and just have it there for 4 minutes, that piece of bacon is not going to have any rigidity to it at all. It still, to most people, is going to look raw because it's been cured, and so it's going to maintain the pink color, the flexible properties of the raw product, and most people won't like it.
So they're going to cook it higher.
Yeah, most people are. I don't know what it actually is. We should try to temp it sometime. I want to say people are going to cook bacon to like 220, 250. I mean, it's going to be a super high temperature. But to get it to the point where it's like actually carcinogenic, like you have to not just like overcook it, not just cook it really high. You have to char it. Like you were saying, it has to be like black. Now, it has to be burnt to a crisp.
And if you at home like your bacon extremely crispy, you're fine because it has the correct ingoing parts per million of nitrite. It's not a concern.
Yeah.
We could do an entire podcast on how the food pyramid was a lie growing up.
Yeah. Why is candy and sugar not the most important ingredient?
It basically was. They said you needed 11 servings of carbs a day and to eat very little fat. It's like, no, that actually probably turn it right over. Don't eat that much bread and carbs. Consume more good, healthy fats and proteins.
Yeah.
So,
well, the food pyramid probably follows like what they were talking about in the article about medieval kings and not eating as much protein.
What a ridiculous article.
Some of it I think is just perception. It's things that aren't based on actual facts, and it's the way someone looks at it and they think and they feel it should be this way.
That's interesting, actually.
Kind of like how people view Notre Dame and Kansas State.
I knew we were going to do that.
You feel like you're an elitist Notre Dame fan.
But that's interesting because they use, hey, kings didn't eat this way. You shouldn't either. Almost like they're trying to, or they're showing that to them, like a royalty is something you'd want to emulate. Where I look at that and I'm like, that's ridiculous and stupid. I want nothing to do with it. So
it also used to be like people would aspire to being like fat and obese because that was a sign of you having a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't think that was ever actually true.
You don't think so?
I think it's the exact same thing that's going on now. I think for the first time in history, people, especially in cities, had a surplus of food available to them and couldn't handle it. And then just like now, fat people started getting offended. They're like, no, this is the ideal body. I really think that's how that went down.
I don't know. Interesting take on it, though.
Yeah. All my takes are interesting. All right. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks for hanging with us, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, leave a review. If you stuck around with us this long, I feel like you deserve something. I'm going to make a coupon for something. What do we want to give people for?
Are we giving a coupon
free?
or giving like a product away?
No, we'll give a coupon for something.
It's like a % off?
Either a % off or how many people used that coupon to get the free 2-ounce shaker? Let's find that out. And then
2-ounce injector?
2-ounce injector. Thank you. And then I will lower that to the point where basically you could just use it.
We could literally just start giving some of those away and I would not be upset.
Okay.
We
So
overbought so many.
if you've followed us all the way to the end, on your next order, use, why can I not find this? Marketing promotions. There it is. All right. Use the coupon code. The number 2, then OZ. So 2-ounce, 2OZ. Use that on your next order. I'm taking away any dollar amount required for it. And you will get a free 2-ounce injector. I think I have to put a dollar amount, so I'll put $1. So place an order with more than $1 worth. Use that coupon code and you'll get a free 2-ounce stainless steel injector.
Basically, the only thing you can't buy on the website is a can cooler.
Aren't those $1.19 now?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm
If they
pretty
are,
sure they've gone over $1.
We may have nothing left on the website for under $1 then.
What $1?
That's kind of depressing. So many things used to be $1.
$1's not worth anything anymore, though.
I know. I've been paying attention more and more to like fast food prices. I don't eat out like as much as Patrick did, but when Patrick was talking about the amount that he eats out and what it costs, I started looking more and it's insane. Yeah. Like I don't understand. I don't understand how things have changed that much in the past, honestly, even like 10 years.
We're getting old. That's what's going on. Real quick, I was thinking the stuffer flusher. No, there's 3 of those, but the suction cup feet, there's nothing that's going to be under $1.
Oh, yeah. Poly bowl scrapers.
$1.19, I think. I'm sure this is riveting podcast material, but hold on.
we need
to figure this out.
We're gonna have to add a product with the intention of just selling it for less than $1.
Poly bowl scrapers $1.49. Boy, we make nothing on that. Well, I guess we're not really selling them to make money, but wow, that's no margin.
I found it. We have one item for sale, less than $1.
It's not the sticker, is it?
It's the sticker. Meatgistics sticker for 49 cents.
I reordered that weeks ago.
Oh, they're back ordered. Yeah, so they're out of stock. But
yeah, but so I switched it. I made it the square Meatgistics logo.
Oh, sweet.
And I ordered those weeks ago.
Oh, some stuff is still taking a long time. I need to check into our new thank you bags for the store. Checkout bags. We ordered those a long time ago.
Are they the white ones that we got that one time? Mm-hmm. Yeah, those ones are great. Okay, let's get out of here. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltonsinc.com. And to get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Walton's, everything but the meat.